So let the sun shine in, face it with a grin. Smilers never lose and frowners never win, so let the sun shine in. I'm a happy person who sings happy songs every day. I hate argument, I hate disagreement, I hate confrontation. How about you? So what do you do to avoid it if you don't want it? Now, some people, I get it, they love to argue, they love to have disagreements with people, they love to cause drama. But I just think life's too short to live like that. So there are some very unique and special communication tools to stop that from happening. And this is the one that's the biggest one. It's the most helpful in my life, and it makes sure that every conversation that I have with anybody is always positive. And even if the other person is negative, angry, wants to upset me, it can't happen. And I know that's a big pre-frame, but it goes like this. People, when they ask you a question, and usually an argument starts with that, why did you do that? How come you said that? Why are you doing that to me? And it's a question. And we've been taught since we were little kids that if somebody asks us a question, we should answer the question. So we do. So if somebody says, why did you do that? We go, well, here's why I did it. And because it came at us in a defensive tone, we tend to be defensive back. So here's a really interesting thing to consider, and it's one simple tool that might save you a whole heap of confrontation, hassle, argument, drama. When somebody asks you a question, whether it's an accusatory question, whether it's just a simple, how's your day, a really good thing to consider is, why did they ask me the question? So first of all, before you even say anything, would it be a good idea to consider thinking to yourself, I wonder why they asked me that question? And if you then say, great question, why did you ask me that question? Is it possible that you'll get more information about why they asked you the question? Of course, that seems silly. But it's just a simple tool. Why did you ask me the question? So as an exercise professional, and this is where it came into my life as a very powerful tool, people might say, what should I eat? What kind of exercise should I do? What kind of diet should I go on? Is it good to be a carnivore? Should I exercise 3 times a week? What's the best way to lose weight? And because I'm an exercise professional, and because, like you, we've all been taught to answer questions since we were little kids, since we learnt how to talk, we were taught to answer a question, we go straight into the answer, blah, 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 blah. But we don't know the reason that the person asked us the question. And as an old lady, I can share with you, and not just an old lady, but an old lady with lots of life experience, having spoken to literally millions of people in my life, that 99.999% of the time, when somebody asks you a question, it isn't a question. Is it possible that they just want to talk? But it's very rare for somebody to come up to you and say, well, here's what I believe and you should listen to me. So the conversation starts with, so Rowie, what do you think's the best diet to go on? Now, they don't really want my opinion. They don't really want my advice. They want to tell me what they think is the best diet to go on. But if I answer the question, first of all, I'm wasting my time because I don't really want an answer. They're not interested in my opinion. They just want to talk. So if I then say, why did you ask me the question? Here's what always happens. It's so exciting. They then tell me, well, I think that the best diet is this, blah, 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 and they start talking. Now, the beautiful thing about the other person talking, and this is the other very important thing about this communication tool, is the more you know about somebody, the more or better advice you can give. If you ever need to give advice, how could you possibly give advice to somebody on how to lose weight, how to eat, how to exercise, if you don't know everything about them? And particularly, do you need to know what their convictions are, what their beliefs are, what their other experiences have been, so you've got more information? So when somebody says, Rowie, how do you lose weight? Of course, my first reaction is, I want to be able to tell you that. I know the answer to that. I've been doing this all of my life. I'm an expert. Not really. And I share that very passionately because I'm not an expert in that person. I've got great in-depth knowledge because I've studied every day of my life since I was 13 years of age, how to be fit, how to be healthy, the endocrine system, the central nervous system, skeletal system, muscular system, digestive system, immune system, cardiovascular, respiratory system. I've been studying them every single day of my life. But it doesn't make me an expert on that person, because that person has a different life experience. They've got different foods and that they like and don't like. They've got different exercises that they've tried, liked or didn't like. And if I don't find that all out first, I can't possibly give them great advice. But just in general conversation, this is where this tool is so powerful. Because if somebody wants to share stuff with you about themselves, you may or may not be interested. So why not find out? So I'll wrap this up in one simple, easy process. When somebody asks you a question, don't answer it. Just don't. It'll save you a lot of hassle. Ask this very simple question in return. Why did you ask me that question? Now, in a personal confrontation, whether it's with your family, your partner, your next door neighbour, if they accuse you of something, why did you do that? How did that happen? Why would you say that about me? That's a question, yeah? Rather than answering the question, just very quietly, and this is where it's about cool, calm and collected, but you have to be, because otherwise it will be a fully blown argument. And you know, you've got two idiots arguing. The person who's got the most experience will beat you every time. And usually somebody that starts an argument has lots of experience at arguing. So I would like to be the person that has a lot of experience at stopping arguments, stopping drama, stopping hassle. And that question is the most powerful. Why did you ask me that question? And you ask it really quietly. Even if you're angry, even if you're upset, even if you want to bite back, just very quietly. You've asked me a great question. Why did you ask me that question? Now, the beautiful thing with that first bit, and that's just an added extra if you want to add that in, if you say great question or thank you for asking me that question, you're paying that person a compliment. So if your partner accuses you, why did you do that? It's a question. Thank you for asking me that question. I appreciate that you've asked me the question. Why did you ask me? And then your partner, if you've done something wrong, will say, well, you did this and this and this and this and blah, 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 blah. And now you've got more information. You're not defending something that you've got no clue about. Now, you might not want to defend. You might just say, well, thank you for sharing that with me. I apologise for upsetting you, and walk away. And that's one of the great powerful communication tools. Smile, nod, and walk away. Woohoo! Smile, nod, and walk away. You don't have to have an argument with somebody. But if you put in that question, why did you ask me the question, you'll get a lot more information. Now, you might want to stay and defend your position, but you might want to smile, nod, and walk away because you know that you can't defend your position or the person's just looking for an argument. So if you want to have a nice, quiet, peaceful life like I've got, which is every time somebody says something to me, asks me a question, I always say, why did you ask me the question? I get a lot more information so that I can deal with the question more effectively. But I'm also very good at smile, nod, and walk away. So I can sing, let the sun shine in, face it with a grin, smilers never lose and frowners never win, so let the sun shine in and ask more questions. Woohoo! Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got this magical feeling that I don't need to answer questions today. I can just ask them. Woohoo!